in a hushed voice. "I don't know. They'll burn every plantation house in the area. We'll have to pack up everything that we don't want to lose." "Everything?" Kitty glanced around the drawing room. "There's so much, Missy. All of Massafula's nice things. How are we going to know what to take and what to leave?" She could see that her mistress was getting control of herself again. Missy pushed the fan away from her face and rose to her feet. "We'll have to get all the other house slaves to help us. Now hurry. We'll pack as much as a wagon will hold, the most valuable things first. Then leave the rest to God's mercy." Kitty set to work as fast as she could, but it wasn't fast enough for Missy. She shoved Kitty backward and nearly knocked her down because she thought Kitty was packing one of the steamer trunks too slowly. When Kitty accidentally dropped the silver caddy, spilling the tableware, Missy grabbed hold of her hair and pulled. And when Kitty asked her who would take care of the house while they were gone, Missy Claire slapped her. "Don't bother me with your stupid questions, Kitty." Missy wasn't usually this mean. She was scared, that's all. "If only Roger were here," she kept saying as they went from room to room, trying to decide what to pack. The big house was crammed clear to the attic with Massafula's things, passed down through his family for years and years. The paintings of all Mass's relations would fill an entire wagon all by themselves, and his books would fill a second one. Anyone could see that they would have to leave all his beautiful furniture behind. Mass's oak desk and his piano, the canopy beds and wardrobes and dressers, the walnut dining table that Delia polished with beeswax and turpentine until it gleamed like a mirror. There were closets full of table linens, feather beds and spreads, cupboards of fine porcelain, silver serving pieces, and tableware. They couldn't possibly take it all. Those Yankees must be demons from hell if they would burn down such a fine old house and destroy all these beautiful things. Kitty was upstairs packing Missy Claire's clothes when she heard the rumble of wagon wheels outside. She ran to the window, expecting to see soldiers and armed slaves coming with guns and torches. But the wagon that stopped out front was empty. "Kitty," Missy said as she hurried into the bedroom, "one of the field slaves finally brought a wagon up from the barn. Quit gaping out the window and start loading some of these things into it. I already told Delia to gather the baby's clothes." Kitty scooped up 2 satchels and headed toward the stairs. "Make sure you hurry right back," Missy Claire yelled. "None of your usual dawdling." Her words hurt more than a kick in the shins. Kitty never dawdled the way a lot of other slaves did. Maybe she daydreamed once in a while, but that was different from dawdling, wasn't it? Folks dawdled on purpose. But daydreaming was something you just couldn't help. Kitty was still grumbling to herself about how unfair Missy was when she met Delia going down the stairs with a bundle of the baby's clothes. The little woman descended the stairs much slower than Kitty did, her joints painful with age. Kitty slowed her pace to match. "What are you pouting about, honey?" Delia asked. "Mind you don't trip over that bottom lip of yours hanging clear to the floor." "Missy's been hollering at me all afternoon, Delia." "Ain't just you, honey, that's for sure. It's chilly out here," she said as she pushed open the door. Outside, the autumn sky was as raw and gray as a tombstone. "Can't be good for Mass's little baby to be dragging him all over creation this way," Delia said, shaking her head. "The good Lord said that when Judgment Day finally comes, we're supposed to pray that our flight ain't coming in the wintertime." Kitty looked at Delia in surprise. "Is this here the Judgment Day?" "Seems like the Lord's judging some folks," Delia mumbled, nodding toward the wagon. "Never thought I'd see Mass's family riding in an old cotton wagon pulled by a team of mules." Delia was right. The farm mules that had been hitched to the wagon were what poor folks drove around. But the Confederate soldiers had taken away all of Massafula's horses a long time ago. Grady had stayed in the carriage house that day rather than watch them go. For as long as he'd been Massafula's coachman, Grady had looked after those horses like they were his babies, same as Delia looked after Missy Claire's baby. He had to work as a field slave now that his horses were gone. Kitty dropped